Hi, let's take a look at the configurations of these agile features on our network infrastructure. If you look at this picture, you can see that the users, the same users, the common user or the VIP users, the same users can access the infrastructure by either through the wireless access methods or through the wired medium. So whatever the access method, as we said, whatever the access method is, whether it's wired or wireless, should not matter, and the users should be getting the same experience from the network infrastructure as they are getting from the other medium. So the users are getting connected to the access switch. The access switch or switches would be connected to the core switch, and the core switch is connected to the firewall and then to the internet. And also we have the DMZ, or we have the pre-authentication domain, where we can have, or the post-authentication domains as well, which we can have the agile controller, we can have the DNS server, the DHCP server, or the patching servers, etc. And we can also have the other network services available, for example the mail server, etc. So the employees in the campus have fixed access as well as mobile access requirements, demanding consistent bandwidth, forwarding priority, and rights for accessing the data center, which is sitting here, and the internet, regardless of their location and access modes, which means that no matter where they are located within the campus, within the network, or which access mode they are using, whether wired or wireless, they should be getting the same consistent behavior. Authentication point for wired and wireless users is deployed on the core switches. So this red dot that you can see here, this is the enforcement point, which means that the users are going to be authenticated, or are going to be assigned the roles, or are going to be assigned their authorizations at this point. So they are going to land here, and then this switch is going to talk to the agile controller, and then appropriate authorizations, authentication and authorizations are going to be performed, and then the user is going to get access to the resources in the data center or to the internet. So this is how we are going to implement the agile controller implementation, or the agile network. As you can see, there are different devices which are involved in implementing the solution. We have the access switches, we have the core switches, which are the policy enforcement point, then we have the firewalls which implement the policies along with the core switches, and then we have the agile controller, which is used for defining the policies and for implementing the policies for different users. Let's take a look at the configuration steps and the configuration on different devices. These are the different steps, so this is the flowchart for implementing the configuration. First we need to plan the configuration, then we need to do the basic configuration on the devices, which is not exactly related to the agile network implementation, but otherwise basic configuration, for example assigning the IP addresses, the VLANs, or the basic firewall policies, which you configure in any case, even with or without the agile controller implementation or the agile network implementation. So we configured the configuration that we are going to focus on for this specific implementation are the configurations on the core switch, configurations on the firewall, and the configurations on the agile controller itself. These are the configurations which we need to do. We need to do the configurations on the core switch. The access switch should be pre-configured. We should already have configured the access switch. So we'll need to configure the core switch, we'll need to configure the firewall, and of course we'll need to configure the agile controller as well. Let's take a look at these configurations one by one, and starting from the core switch. First we have to configure the radius interconnection parameters on the core switch. This means that we have to enable or configure the core switch to communicate with the agile controller using the radius mechanism or using the radius protocol. So on the core switch, we configure a radius server template called RDTemp. I will not be going into all the details of this configuration. That's a topic of discussion for another course or for another class, but I assume that you have a basic understanding of how we configure these radius related configurations and other configurations, which we'll be looking at in the next few slides. But I'll just briefly go through these. So first we configured the radius server template. In this template, RDTemp template, we configured the radius server for authentication, and the Radius server for accounting, giving the IP address of the Agile controller, which is going to be our Radius server in this case, along with the port numbers, which are the pretty much the default ports which we are using here, and the source IP, which is the IP address of the core switch virtual interface or VLAN interface, which is connecting it to the Agile controller. Then we define the pre-shared key, the Radius server key, which is going to be the same on the Agile controller or the Radius server and our switch, and then the Radius server key for the authorization. This was the key for the authentication and accounting, and this is the authorization server key once again, which is sitting on the Agile controller. Then we go into AAA configuration mode. We define the authentication scheme and the accounting schemes, and then within those schemes we define the appropriate authentication and the accounting modes, which are both Radius in this case. Then we give the accounting timeout, which is going to be 15 minutes, the domain default, the accounting interval, which is 15 minutes, and we give the domain default, and within the domain default we link all the configurations which we have done so far. Radius server RDTemp, which we defined here, the authentication scheme, which was auth, and the accounting scheme, which was ACCO, or short for accounting. And we link all these together, and now our core switch is ready for doing AAA communication with our Agile controller for authentication, authorization, and accounting. This was if we wanted to connect our server to the Agile controller for performing 802.1x authentication primarily, because 802.1x authentication is going to be dependent upon Radius connectivity. And in this slide we are going to do the configuration on the core switch for portal authentication or for portal interconnection. We configure portal interconnection parameters on the core switch for connecting the core switch to the Agile controller for portal authentication. So we configure a web authentication server template called the web temp. We assign the Agile controller IP address and the source IP address of the switch and the port number, and then we define the shared key and the URL on the Agile controller, and then we define the DNS IP address as well, that this is DNS related config. And once this is done, then we enable the wired authentication on the switch, because in the previous two slides we did the connectivity, or we established a connectivity between the switch and the Agile controller. However, the switch is going to send traffic or going to send authentication requests to the Agile controller that are coming from the users, and the users are connecting to the core switch. So now we need to configure or do the configuration on the user side. For this, the interface that is connecting the core switch to the access switch or access switches, we need to configure that. So we force the authentication, which is going to be .1x, and portal. We enable both types of authentication on the interface from which users are going to log into the network, or the users are going to try and access the network. Then we define the .1x authentication method, which is going to be EAP, and we define the web authentication method or the portal authentication method, which is going to be layer 2 direct. And then we force the domain default, which means that any users who try to log into the network, who try to log into the system, are going to be forced to the domain default, and they are going to be authenticated using the configuration which we did in the domain default in the previous slides. Once this is done, this means that our configuration on the core switch is done. Now we can move over to the firewall and do the necessary configuration on the firewall. As you can see that on the firewall, similar to the switch, we have to connect the firewall to the Agile controller. For that, what we are going to do is that we configure the Radius server on the firewall, and we define the authentication server and the authorization server, accounting server, sorry, for on the firewall, which are, and assign the IP address of the Agile controller, because our Agile controller is actually our authentication and accounting server, is acting as our authentication and accounting server. Once that is done, then we enable the Agile Network function and give the IP address of the Agile controller, and we attach the controller which we configured here, or the radius server which we configured here by the name of controller, and we assign that radius server to this Agile controller. Once this is done, then we move over to the third component of our Agile network, which is the Agile controller itself. On the Agile controller, we have to add the core switch or the core switches of our network. We give the IP address of the core, the name and the IP address of the core switch, which is going to be communicating with the Agile controller. Then we do the XMPP configuration, extensible membership and presence protocol. This protocol is used for communication between the controller and the switch, core switch, or between the controller and the firewall. So we need to configure the XMPP related parameters, for example the password. This password is going to be used between the two devices, the controller and the core switch, for exchanging information. Then we configure the authentication parameters which were already configured on the core switch. These are the authentication parameters. These are for the 802.1x authentication, and this is for the portal authentication. So we configure the parameters for 802.1x and portal authentication on the Agile controller. Similarly, we need to add the firewalls on the Agile controller exactly almost in the same fashion. We configure the firewall, give its IP address, give a name to the firewall, give its IP address, configure the XMPP related parameters, and then configure the authentication parameters, for example the radius authentication parameters on the firewall. These are the basic configurations on the Agile controller. Once we have done the basic configurations and we have connected the core switch or identified the core switch and the firewall on the Agile controller, then we need to configure certain basic security parameters, security related configurations. These configurations, you would be able to better understand these configurations once you actually work in the lab. However, I'll give you just a brief overview of what these configurations are trying to achieve. We deploy the security zones on the Agile controller. This means that traffic is going to be moving between different zones. We have the intranet zone. The traffic is coming from the intranet zone, and the traffic is going to the pre-security domain where the Agile controller is sitting and where the DNS server or possibly the DHCP servers could be sitting. So we assign the IP addresses of those subnets or those servers which are sitting in the pre-authentication domain. We need to assign those IP address here in the intranet configuration here. Once this is done, then we move on to configure the access rights or the access permissions on the Agile controller. You can see that we configured the source security group and we configured the destination security group, and we permit these two groups, VIP and the internet groups, to communicate with each other, which means that users who belong to the VIP group can communicate or can talk to the internet group or can exchange traffic with the internet group. In other words, they can send and receive traffic to and from the internet. Similarly, the VIP and the common user groups are allowed to exchange traffic, are permitted to exchange traffic with the email server. However, the VIP and common users are not allowed to communicate with any other groups, and similarly any unknown groups or any unknown traffic is not allowed to communicate with anyone. They are denied to communicate with anyone here. So these are the access control policies that we want to implement in our network. Similarly, we can also implement QS policies in our Agile network. As you can see that these are the QS policies. For example, we configure a QS policy high. In this, we configure the forwarding priority as high priority. We assign the total bandwidth to be 50 or to be 10 megabits per second. This is a QS policy, which means that any groups which are assigned to this particular QS group, they are going to be group high, are going to be assigned 10 megabits of bandwidth. And then we see that we have this QS group here, and we assign the VIP users and the email and the internet users to this particular group. which in other words means that the VIP users, whenever they are accessing the email group or the internet group, that is the email servers or the internet, their traffic is going to be marked with the class of service 7 or CS7, and they are going to be assured 10 megabits of bandwidth for exchanging traffic with these two groups. So we implement the quality of service on our Agile controller, and as I said, these configurations you'll be very comfortable because this is graphic interface. You'll be comfortable with these implementations or these configurations once you practice them with your own hands or you do it yourself. Then you'll develop a better learning and better understanding of these configurations. But right now you have to just believe whatever I'm telling you. Finally, you can do the verification. You can do verification through the graphic user interface on the Agile controller or on the firewall, but you can also check which of the users have logged into the system by issuing the command on the core switch. The command is display access user. This will show you all the online users which are accessing the system or accessing the network through the core switch, and they have been authenticated by the core switch according to the instructions from the Agile controller or our policy controller. So this was all about the Agile network, which is a new way of providing or allowing users to access the network, the data center, and use the resources that are available in the data center, or they are allowed to access the internet. So this was all about Agile network, and with this we come to the end of this module. I'll see you in the next module with a new topic. Thank you.